Hey guys, welcome. CI7 live narration round 2, but believe it or not, this is the lower bracket, and this is a doozy of a pairing. M-Dragon, the OG runner-up in CALLOUS Invitational, all the way back. CI won, and damn near won that tour. He was the favorite. He was in the upper bracket going into the grand finals, and basically was a turn away from victory in Game 4 of the first set. But boy, how history changes, and we all know what happened with Linear after that. M-Dragon hasn't made it back to the money since then, but he has been playing ADV and putting up results since Kingdom Come, one of the only players in this tour who has been around the ADV game longer than I have. Now, ABR, on the other hand, we all know the CI5 champion from the winner's bracket. However, last year he went out with just a 1-2 record, and he's off to obviously not the start he would have hoped for this year either. He also, of course, way back in the day got third place in CI, was it 2, I want to say? 2 or 3. Might have been actually 3. So ABR has made money twice. These guys both, like I said, money winners in this tour, and very accomplished players with long Pokemon resumes. This is a brutal pairing, and just by dumb coincidence, they actually also got paired this week in the RBY Invitational, which I think was actually in the winner's bracket. Not sure, but round 2 of that tour also going on, and they also got paired in that just by coincidence. Not that it has any bearing on who's going to win this match in a completely different format, but ABR did end up coming out on top of that matchup. But ADV, RBY, obviously, different ball games, and to the surprise of no one, they are both opting for Spikes teams. These two both have an absolute woody for Skarmory, and in M-Dragon's case, Fori as well. I don't think that ABR is the biggest Fori guy in the world. So far, pretty standard. They both got all 3 layers of Spikes up. Here comes Swampert coming in, 2 Rock Slide, not a big deal. Not a lot of thinking involved in this one. There's been 0 timer usage. They are both in clicker mode, and I haven't seen any blatant misplays so far, so if they want to play at this speed, go for it. Protect coming down, and now Roar prompts out Meta again, taking heavy abuse from the 3 layers of Spikes. Psychic, decent chunk, and EQ, crit, may or may not have mattered. Almost certainly didn't on a mixed gross. That was probably always going to kill. And that's going to leave us in a 6-5. First knockout of the series goes to ABR as Dragon follows up with a Gengar. Good to see that the Gengar and these other Pokemon seemingly do not all have choice bands. That is improvement from where M-Dragon has recently been. Will-O-Wisp connecting. Taunt might be good. Yep, catches them. But ABR anticipates it, and not only anticipates it, but gets a crit with his T-Bolt. Pretty lucky. Taunt Guard typically quite bulky, so I would expect that it can live another T-Bolt or Ice Beam here. Question is, does the roll put it in sand range? And the answer is no. So Blissey in some trouble. Here comes Doll, and Thunderbolt is the attempt. That was a good turn for Dragon. Not only did Blissey not get soft boiled off, but it's burning. There's 3 layers of Spikes, and we've got something that presumably outspeeds it here and can go for the kill. But he actually clicks Rapid Spin rather than going for EQ there. Big turn for Dragon, removing all the Spikes, and ABR back to square one is going to reestablish 1 layer, but 3-1 Spikes advantage now for Dragon, who is down a poke and does have the weakened Gar, and in fact does have the dead Gar. He gets a burn off on the way out, but he gets pecked. And now Doll comes in. EQ blanked. There's Spikes. Seems fine. He could just sit there and burn. Sableye. And Rapid Spin. Wrecked. Blocks him. And that is when he put owned. Talking a little bit of smack to his buddy M-Dragon. You guys know that I think Sableye blows. If you've been listening to me at all in narrations or in the chat or just about anywhere else, my wife and I at dinner, I talk about how bad Sableye is. She and I were lying in bed the other night, and she was half asleep, and I said, Babe, I need you to wake up. There's an emergency. And she thought one of our cats was sick or something, and it's, no. Babe, Sableye is still really bad. That didn't really happen, but, like, it could have. And Sableye blows. That being said, the matchup that Sableye wants, I guess, is Claydol. But, like, even then, if it comes in on Doll, steps on 3 spikes and eats an EQ, and then gets outsped and killed by the next EQ, like, is that even good? Man, the thing is so bad. We'll see where it goes from here. It did block Rapid Spin once, so there's that. The spikes remain for now. Here comes Starmie. Be very poor for M-Dragon. Yeah, that's not what he wanted. There's nothing that can prevent Rapid Spin now. I'm not sure what he could have done instead. I mean, Toxic Missing stinks, but, like, he doesn't really have anything that would have outsped it, like an Aerodactyl or whatever, and forced it out as it comes in. You know, he can reestablish the spikes, which is what he's going to do. Now that the Toxic is ticking, he's going to be able to get some more layers down, since Starmie's not going to be able to stay in forever. And spikes number 2, reestablished as the Starmie falls to 58%. But Skarmour's going to dip into the red and eat a full para here, in danger of dying to a Surf. But it's Recover and Drill Peck trying to help him along with the process. So Starmie very low as well. Rapid Spin, I don't know about that, because now spikes and Starmie dies? Huh. That's an interesting spin. I'm not sure. I feel like ABR maybe could have switched out there and maybe tried again with the Starmie later, but he sees it differently. And there is a freeze coming down. It's on Blissey, so it's not a huge deal, but it does give Swampert a little bit of tempo. And there's Ice Beam again. That must be the Yo ABR as he gets back-to-back freezes. No Thaw. Another Ice Beam. Thaw now. Maybe. Make it interesting. Here comes Bliss. And there's Ice Beam on that as well. Can we get a third? Not yet. Maybe later in the battle when it really counts. And Soft Boiled comes down on what is a non-focus punch Swampert, so no big punish. Does roar out to the T-Tar, who goes back to the Frozen Doll, blanking EQ. Another opportunity to thaw out and do more than nothing here. Nope, not going to go for it. Goes to Bliss, anticipating Ice Beam. Instead, it's Sableye on the other side, just in case the Doll had thawed out and gone for Rapid Spin. Toxic on that would have been annoying, but swing and a miss. M-Dragon getting a bit unlucky in the later stages of this game, and Bliss will play the rest of this game without her leftovers. Toxic irrelevant there, Sand will kill the Bliss all the same. 4-3 situation with Dragon in the lead on paper, despite some pretty poor luck up to this point, and Skarm getting foddered there leaves only the T-Tar as a normal resist, so that's going to have to be the plan. Here it comes, it anticipates Swampert, Dragon gets some luck of his own with a crit EQ, and it's the Claydol again. Will it thaw? Will it spin? Will it EQ? Probably just won't thaw. Not going to go for it. Goes to Bliss thinking Ice Beam. And he is correct again. Nothing preventing a Soft Boiled here. And probably, goes for Toxic. Gotta say probably obligated to Soft Boiled. But no, would rather poison the Pert actually. Perhaps was thinking Claydol would come in and that would be a good Toxic target. But Blissey down, and now he just needs to thaw the Claydol, which evidently is easier said than done. It stays on ice again. One more chance, one more time. T-Tar, that comes in, survives the Ice Beam. Maybe. Can't find the flinch either. Dragon cannot catch a break, and at this point the Aerodactyl would clean up one way or another, even if the Claydol were to thaw. But here comes Sableye for insult to injury, gonna make sure that a knockoff comes down. Why not just recover, apparently, though? Anytime. There's the S-Toss. That keeps it well into Aerodactyl range. And anticlimactically, the Doll simply never thaws. So game 1, certainly with luck on his side, goes to ABR. Still think Sableye blows. Doesn't matter that it won this game. ABR did not win this game because of Sableye. The poke blows. It sucks. It blows. What's another word for that? It's terrible. It's awful. It's rancid. It's putrid. Did I mention I'm not a Sableye fan? Bad flavor of the month. As we wait for game 2. Live narration action here. M-Dragon is a game away, whether through being rushed in round 1 or getting unlucky in round 2. M-Dragon is one game away from going 0-4 in games and out of the final CALLOUS Invitational, which would be a disappointing end for one of only 2 players at the end of all of this to have played in all 7 CALLOUS Invitationals. There were 4 going into this year, but the other 2, UD and Fear, both not participants this year. UD declining for just lack of interest in the game these days, unfortunately. And Fear probably would have played, but had a scheduling conflict, was going to be away for a number of weeks while this was all going on, and it wouldn't have been fair for him to make him play on the road or to make him play in a position where he isn't sure that he can make the time and he isn't sure that he can put the effort in, all that good stuff. So we both agreed that it would probably be for the best if he sat that one out, which is unfortunate because I really like Fear and I really wanted him to be part of it. We want as many people in the club as possible for people that played all 7 of these, but turns out it is only 2 people. It is M-Dragon and Soulwind. Coincidentally, 2 Spaniards, but those are the only 2 who played all 7 of these. And I hope they enjoyed doing so, and they both have made money from this tournament. Both of them finished 2nd place in different years. And hell, one or both of them, or I guess only one of them because they're both in lower bracket, but one of them could make money again this year. Hell, one of them could even win the tournament. Kind of surprised by the pause in between games. It's they played pretty quickly there. There didn't seem to be much hesitation, and in general, I don't really know these guys to be, in between game John Stolly kind of people. I would expect game 2 to start momentarily. I'm kind of surprised that it hasn't already. I would expect that from some other players whose names rhyme with PK Beach, but I would not so much expect it from these 2. Let me just make sure. Let me take a quick peek if there's any kind of problem here. I don't see anything going on in the Discord server that indicates that there's any kind of issue. ABR did say that he needs a few minutes a couple minutes ago. You know how that is in Pokemon. 5 minutes is really an hour, so hopefully that's not the way that this ends up playing out. But yeah, I mean, as far as adjustments, I don't know that game really lends itself to any in particular. I mean, Dragon didn't do anything blatantly wrong. He just kind of got unlucky in that game, and then, I mean, the adjustment to always make is to not run Sableye, but yeah, beyond that, I'm not sure. Beyond that, I'm not sure. They'll probably both just stick to their game plan. I mean, I don't know that either one is really the improv it on the fly kind of player. I think that they should both trust their prep, and they made what they made for a reason, and they're obviously very confident in themselves as players, as they should be, given the proven track record that they both do have. Yeah, I think they should stick with their game plan and see what happens. In M-Dragon's case, try to not get so unlucky this time. Always the plan, right? But sometimes the RNGesus has other plans. So it goes. I'm really truly surprised by this pause. Got to be something going on. I know that ABR was a little bit late for this match to begin with, which is kind of uncharacteristic for him. He's usually pretty punctual. But they would let me know. I've been checking on my phone just in case. They would let me know if there were like really a problem and someone really had to go, but That doesn't seem to be the case. Doesn't seem to be an emergency or whatever. Just a little bit of real-life scrambling and what have you. Oh boy. Man, I am so out of the Smogon loop. There's a survey here asking who's going to win Dali versus Giannis. I have no clue. I know who Giannis is, but I don't even know who Dali is, nor do I know what tour that would be for. But hey, those two are going to play in some tour, and one of them's probably going to win, presumably. You guys think Giannis is going to win. Man, I'm super out of the loop, man. I don't have a clue what that's for, but finals of something, I would assume. Feels like Giannis is always in finals. Or it's Giannis, right? Assuming that he's just copying the basketball player, Giannis, even though it's spelled like Giannis. And I won't even try with the last name, but I do know that he's on the Bucks and one of the best basketball players in the league. Speaking of predictions, let me just go ahead and check what you guys... God, they're killing me. So apparently ABR is now good to go, and now Dragon needs 5 minutes. This is why we need that max amount of time in between games rule. But let me go ahead and check the predictions. Who did you guys think? Pretty damn even. 33 of you said that ABR would win this, and 29 said M Dragon, which is basically a wash, basically dead even. I don't really pay a ton of attention to the predictions. I'm kind of looking them over now, but looks like for the most part, maybe not. Yeah, I mean, they're more right, I guess, this round than last round, because there were a lot of upsets, but there were quite a few on-paper upsets this round as well, and there's still quite a few incorrect consensus opinions going on with the predictions this round as well. Man, in hindsight, I didn't know that it was going to be this amount of time in between games, this much delay. Usually, I'm a big advocate for live narration, best narration, but perhaps this particular set, not that I had any way of knowing, maybe it would have been better to just do the replays. I guess I still could, but I'm stubborn, and I've already spent whatever it is, 20, 30 minutes of my life doing this, so even though there's a delay longer than I want in between games, we're committed at this point. Going to live narrate it, and not going to do the replays. I mean, really, if you guys just want to not listening to me talk about things that aren't all that damn important in between games, very easy on YouTube to just skip ahead to the next game. And any of you can do that. Back in the old days, I would fill this time with either a joke or I would sing to you. I just don't have it in me anymore, guys. I'm old. 1 foot out the door, mostly retired. I don't have any of that in me anymore. I'll tell you though, I did. My wife and I went to a Matchbox 20 concert the other night. We actually got free tickets. That was, God, what's today? It all blurs together. That was Friday night, and this is Sunday. So yeah, not last night, but the night before. Yeah, we got the tickets for free through the My Verizon app. We've actually won twice. We won Patriots tickets, really good tickets, like really close to the field, and free passes to the Pavilion, which is like their gourmet, expensive buffet restaurant that's on site. And then yeah, the tickets that we won for the concert were $300-something a whack. They were in section 1. We were only like, I don't know, 12 rows back. I think we were in row 14 maybe, something to that effect. But we were really up in it. We were really close. I've got videos. It was a good show. Moral of the story, other than me killing dead time, is that for those of you who have Verizon, you should absolutely use the My Verizon app and try to get free stuff. You can win shit every 6 months, and it isn't just like a fantasy. It isn't just like, you have a 1 in 50,000 chance to win. We've already won twice. If you pay attention to it, plan ahead, set an alarm when there's going to be a drawing, and just enter ASAP when it opens, you can win. I have won twice. It can be done. Man, killing me with this in-between time. Not sure exactly what time it was that the previous game finished, but it had to have been at this point at least 10 minutes ago. I'm thinking more. I could timestamp my Discord server when they stopped, but feel like they've been done for a hot minute here. I'm going to yell at them in my Discord server now. Let me try to get this show on the road here. One moment, please. Where is game 2? God, they are back and forth with who's gone and who's not. So we had to wait for ABR, and then he was ready, and then we had to wait for Dragon, and now apparently we're waiting for ABR again. He had to take a phone call, apparently. Yeah, this is brutal. There's not going to be a CI8, but I feel very strongly at this point with the wasting of my time and the wasting of opponents' time, and just the sitting here with my thumb up my ass that I've had to do multiple times while we wait for people in between games. If there were a CI8, there would absolutely be a rule where there is a maximum amount of time in between games. And I don't know what that number is, but there would be a number. This is an unreasonably long wait, in my opinion. There are multiple other sets still to come today, by the way. But they're not for me to narrate. This is the last one for me, assuming that the guest narrators actually do the things that they're supposed to do. And then everything else will be via guest narrator. Actually, I think that Cyber Odin and McMegan, I believe, are actually going to play tomorrow, which is not really allowed. That's past the deadline, but talk to McMegan privately, and with some pretty specific conditions, pretty specific, we are on the same page, understand each other kind of clauses here. I did give them the go-ahead to play tomorrow, but wasn't happy about it. Don't want to do that going forward, but I did give them the okay. So, assuming that is going to be the case and that they play tomorrow, then there's actually only the one more set today, which is going to be Colin and Crystal, Star and Crystal, narrated by Colin at 5 o'clock, which, the way this is going, 4:35 right now, that set may start before this one ends, or hell, that one may finish before this one does. That might be a little bit of hyperbole, but sure fucking feels that way, man. Yeah, ABR apparently taking a phone call at the moment. I don't know what the hell it would be about that would be so important where you can't just like wait or call them back, man. Besides, who talks on the phone these days? I hate talking on the phone. I don't know about you, not my jam. Text occasionally, talking on the phone, not my cup of tea. You guys familiar with Displate? Probably not. Company that you could check out. Some free advertising for my 15 subscribers to perhaps check that out. The reason I ask is because there is a big sale going on right now, and there's like a day or less than a day left in the sale. It's like 33% off, which when you're talking like 50 or $100 a whack for these things, that's actually a pretty big discount. And wife and I were checking them out, and my original plan, because they're so expensive, is like, all right, why don't we just like buy two and get the third three, basically, plus shipping, obviously. But yeah, buy two, get the third one free. That'll be pretty cool. Get it free, rather. But yeah, of course, so we start browsing, and we're like, oh, we like that one, we like that one, we like that collection. We ended up, I think we have 18 in our cart right now, and that is after we ended up cutting at least 15, 20 of them. So we're down to 18 at the moment, and it's like $1,000 order or whatever, but of course you get the 33% off, so we're tempted, and we're kind of back and forth, like, well, we like all these, we don't want to cut all these, it'd be, it'd look nice, all that, can we really justify spending $650 or whatever it's going to be after the discount on posters? And we haven't decided yet. We went to bed late last night, both too tired to make a clear-headed decision, so we didn't end up doing it, but they're sitting in the cart still, and we've got like a day, not even, left in the sale. We're going to have to make the decision. Oh my god, it's game 2. I'll let you know if we buy them or not. About fucking time. But this should be case in point. This should be a case study as to why whoever, if anyone, picks up the CALLOUS invitation mantle after I'm gone, whether it's Jim Cool or whoever decides to do it, whoever runs this next year, if anybody, I would highly recommend, from experience, I would highly recommend implementing some kind of damn rule where there is a maximum amount of time in between games. Anyhow, Dragon gonna lead Skarm. He gets a spike down against Medicham, and Medi could have gone for something like Focus Punch there, but pulls it straight back to Magneton, gets the damage roll with the Magnet, if it was a roll at all, who knows, maybe it was some kind of weird, plus defense Skarm or what have you. But the roll cooperates, down goes the Skarm after just one layer of spikes, and ABR, who is up a game, is now in a decent position in the early stages of Game 1. His Celebi going to sub up, there is Leech Seed. Roar probably the best case scenario for Dragon, doesn't seem to have that, just going to pop the sub via Crunch. Here's BP, Snorlax in. And the Crunch there is not going to be that exciting, nor does he get a Specs drop, and he gets some Leech Seed health back. M-Dragon gonna have to switch here. And that is not the common Lax switch, a fellow Lax. So Lax on Lax action here. Blinking Shadow Ball, so he gets it in good. Curse and Boom, and the defense boost is not going to save him. That is a trade, and we've got ourselves a 5-4. The way that we're going, I think that in-between time that I talked and had to kill might end up being longer than the game itself. Certainly looking like there's a good possibility of that. Leech Seed connecting on Tar yet again before BPing out. And it's Medicham. That takes Crunch neutrally for 62%, and he has to step on the spike, but he gets at least some of it back with Leech Seed, and generally speaking, Tar is too afraid to stay in here. As it turns out, he could have stayed in and crunched again and killed him, but M-Dragon didn't have the Goyonis to do that, and he's going to be punished by losing his Starmie. Despite resisting Focus Punch, he will be one hit KO'd because Metacham really truly hits that damn hard. And Dragon in some trouble just 11 turns into this game. He is teetering on the brink of an 0-4 exit, which so did another player this round who's really, really good, which I won't spoil in case you haven't seen it yet, but it has been pretty wild, this CI. Multiple players who either went very deep last year or are just really good in general and would not be players that you expect to have that kind of record. Multiple of those guys are falling by the wayside very early on in this tour. Here comes Metagross. Does the mash, the monster mash. No miss, no raise. Swampert takes it like a champ. EQ, just 24%. Wonder if that is a bulky Metagross with Protect or whatever, because it's really not doing much of anything to Swampert here. And Swampert tries to kill him with EQ. Gonna meet the Celebi on the other side instead, just 14%. Leech Seed connects, as does Ice Beam. Comes up well short of the kill. And Celebi gonna seed itself back into the yellow. Here's Tar. ABR anticipates that and Leech Seed's there as well. Seemingly a no-recover Celebi, which is the trend these days, but it's not one that I'm a big fan of. Crunch there lands a crit on the way in. Helps soften up the mag. Lefty's back up, Leech Seed's back up to 50%. Does not have leftovers. Protect coming down. And Toxic, so seemingly does not have HP Grass. Toxic again, gonna connect. EQ, pops the sub, of course. M-Dragon's putting up a fight. Maybe if it's like Last Poke Arrow or something, or DD Mens, he's got a shot here, but ABR has been mostly ahead throughout this game, though it is 3-3. And here comes Gyra in the back for ABR, going for the sweep. DD, and immediately hit with Toxic. If he doesn't have rest, that's going to hurt. I'm seeing GG and GG's. Crucially, usually GG's indicates that the series is over. And it certainly might be after that critical hit. As it turns out, it's Mag in the back, so it is all ground weaknesses remaining for Dragon. Don't know that he's going to be able to stall the Gyra out, but the GG's certainly makes it look like he cannot. He flips a coin with Protect, loses that flip, and that should be all she wrote. Yeah, Gyra takes heavy toxic damage, but not enough to prevent it from clicking EQ here and ending the game and the match. M-Dragon, yet another mighty ADVer, falling 0-2 in this tournament. Gonna follow a consistent player who's done well in back-to-back years. Gonna follow a former champ. Gonna follow two players who made top 6 last year. Many players who you would think were among the favorites and gonna make a big boy run are all out of this tournament in round 2. ABR, as he did in the RBY Invitational, going to defeat M-Dragon, and M-Dragon 0-4 in games, shockingly, is going to be out. It felt like ABR did catch the better end of the hacks in this series, certainly more so in Game 1, but in this game as well. That crit, for example, near the end on the Swampert was relevant. But yeah, ABR is going to get him, and he will live to fight another day. ABR going out 0-2, I think he'd be disappointed and embarrassed. Not that 1-2 would be a lot better, so he's going to try to win next round as well. And Dragon going to be out. But like I said, he has played all 7 of these CALLOUS Invitationals, and even though this one obviously did not end the way that he would have wanted, I am still super duper appreciative to have such an iconic and long-standing player as M-Dragon be a part of this. So I really appreciate you, Mr. M-Dragon. Not your tour, but it doesn't at all diminish everything that you have accomplished over the years. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Please click the like button if you did. Sorry for the big pause in the middle, and I will see you for more CI content.